Guns N' Roses scoops up the awards.
Again!
Spooky Pinball expands.
Again!
Deeproot delays Razza.
Again!
Hi, my name is Jonathan Joosten. I'm the editor of Pinball Magazine, and I'm joined here with...
I'm Martin Ayub, and I'm the editor of Pinball News. And Jonathan and I are here to look back at all the events that took place in the month of March 2021.
Well, the pinball industry-related events, that is. Obviously not all other events.
Oh, okay, let's narrow it down to that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it could be here a while.
Well, so today is April 1st, but the news that we are bringing you is actually real, no joke.
No, it's all genuine, not made up.
Much. Most of it.
Yeah.
And we're looking back at the month of March 2020, which is
2021, I hope.
Sorry?
2021, I hope.
Oh, sorry. 20. Yeah, okay, so...
March 2020 was a good month as well, because we had the Texas Pinball Festival. Oh, no, we didn't.
No, we didn't. Yeah, and we didn't have that this year either, so last month either. Yeah, well. We should have been in the United States by now, but we're not. So anyway, so we're looking back at March 2021. Yes, thanks for the correction. And, well... Usually we say like, oh, it's been quite a busy month. This month, not so much.
No new game launches or anything like that, but lots of little bits and pieces that you may have missed out on, and we will summarise them for you and bring you up to date.
Right. Okay. Hold on. You hear what I'm hearing?
Oh, really? Right now?
Right now. Okay. For those not familiar with our podcast, in the background we hear ringing my phone, and that ringtone tells me that Gary Flower is calling, and Gary is always trying to get on our show. So usually he doesn't manage to get on for some odd reason, but this time, since it's April Fools and what do you call it? That Thursday before Easter and what have you. I'm in a pretty good mood. Let's get Gary on the phone, shall we?
On right now.
Okay. Hello, Gary.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello, Gary. Just sounding a bit different.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, it's so wonderful. I can barely hear you guys.
You can barely hear it. Hold on.
What?
He sounds a bit odd to me.
It does. It doesn't sound quite right.
No, Gary, stop pranking us.
Are you coming to Japan with me to the Olympics?
Which sport are you competing in,
If
Gary?
you're buying the tickets, we'll support you.
I'm competing in the high jump.
You are competing in the high jump. Are you sure it's not the Paralympics?
I'm going to get high and I'm going to jump.
This doesn't sound like the Gary we know and love.
No.
Well, April Fools, you fools. It's Jersey Jack.
Jack! How are you, old man?
Well, how nice of you to call in.
You
got us there for a second.
Let me tell you something.
Oh, you were good.
We got another guy over here. I don't know who's here right now.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Hold on. Do we have two Garys on the phone now?
It's the man of 1,000 voices.
I think both Garys just went for a drink.
Hold on. Let me call Fred Young and tell him there's competition coming.
Well, Fred Young taught me how to do something. I have to share it with you. You ready?
Is that Darth Vader?
This is an exclusive you only hear on the Pinball Magazine and Pinball News podcast. PINcast.
I didn't know if it was Smaug breathing or it was Darth Vader. I couldn't tell.
I thought for a moment you had a really bad cold, but no, it's.
I'm just happy it's nothing serious.
Drew Maniscalco and I had to push Fred Young out of the elevator at 3:00 in the morning because he was going upstairs with us, and we said, "No, you're not coming upstairs, but you're getting out. You're getting out here, and we're going up to bed. Have a nice night."
One thing Fred can do, well, one of the many things Fred can do is
One
talk.
thing.
Talk and talk.
You know, you see him leaning against the wall downstairs in the lobby at 2 a.m, and it's like a tractor beam. You don't want to go over to him.
On the other hand, he's always got so much to tell you.
Giggity. Hey, story.
For those not familiar with Fred, he's a voice artist who's worked on many games, many pinball games and other games, including Punchy the Clown. And he's a regular at Pinball Expo as well as other shows.
He's a regular.
He's a regular. And he's a huge character in every sense, and we love him.
Absolutely. I'm just telling you guys, I'm not editing anything of this out.
Too right.
If you edit any of this out, I'll never come on your show again.
In that case, we'll have to get the real Gary next time.
Oh, well.
To get whatever real Gary you want. I mean, you know.
But anyway, Jack.
Both of them just skipped down the aisleway down to go get vodka and tonics.
Oh,
so that could
be dangerous. Gone. Okay, well, it's great to have you on the show, Gary. Yes.
Gary. What the hell?
And you too, Jack. How's everything? How's everything at Jersey Jack Pinball?
Yeah, everything's great, and that's
congratulations on winning 7 Twippies, including Game of the Year, and also winning the. I should have Martin say this. Go on.
Well, okay. Never mind that minor achievement. Of course, you won the Pinball News Game of the Year award for 2020, as voted for by Pinball News readers. So congratulations on that as well.
Wow,
that's great. And on behalf of the group, I hope we pass the audition. Really, I mean, it's a wonderful thing. It's a team effort. Everybody is really proud of the game and all the work they've done. And thank you on behalf of the whole company. Really, it's a wonderful thing. It's great to have a hit game, and you know, there's a lot of thanks that go around to everybody.
Right. Now, I think it was last week, Eric Meunier was a guest on the Final Round Pinball podcast, which I found to be a very interesting interview. One of the things he mentioned was that Guns N' Roses was basically ready by the end of 2019. Bill of materials completed and all the drawings done January 15th, 2020. And the game was supposed to be revealed at the Texas Pinball Show.
And
I know how often we had you on our show in that period.
Sorry
and I know how long it took.
Sorry I didn't mention any of that?
No, I can. Well, I get it, but it took quite a while before the game actually got revealed, which turned out to be a blessing in disguise because the coders had so much more time to work on lighting and other rules and all that kind of stuff. But
right. Plus, we wanted to have a few hundred games in stock when we announced the game, so we could ship games immediately. That was very important too.
Right. Well, I assume those were gone in like 2 days.
They were gone in 2 seconds, I think.
Yeah, and then you had to ramp up production. So, and in the meantime, you also moved the factory. Now, if I may get serious for just a second, so the new factory in Elk Grove Village. May I ask how many games are they able to build in a week or a month, or because obviously there's hundreds of people, maybe even thousands, waiting on a game, and everybody's trying to do the math like, when will my game be up?
Yeah, I mean, you know, some days it's 20, some days it's 25, 22, 23.
Right.
It depends on what's going on. No secret that COVID has affected every company on Earth, and that affects people coming to work and hiring people, training people, retaining people. but we have some good people, and we've had some good luck. So we continue to ramp up every day. More games get packed, and Ken Cromwell puts pictures up from the factory, and it's met with a lot of excitement, and it's really all good. I mean, it's what we would call a good problem to have. I know it's a problem, but it's a good problem to have. While we might build 25 games in a day, I could tell you that some days we sell more than 25 games. So right. It's fine. It's fine with me. We have an amazing game made by an amazing team and an amazing company that I'm very proud of, and we just keep rolling them along.
So would you say? Sorry, can I?
Sure.
Would you say it's a?
Martin in there, Jonathan,
Would you say it's a difficult balancing act to work between promoting the game, showing all these videos, and basically showing how excited all the people are who got the game and playing it on location at the same time,
these awards.
And indeed winning the awards, and at the same time knowing that there's all these people who are waiting for the game and so eager to get it, and yet they can't get it yet, and it's going to be a little while before they do. So right. they're sort of saying, as you say, where's my game? And here you are saying how wonderful the game is. It's it's a tease, isn't it?
Well, I get it. For me personally, and Jen especially, and a few other people that were with us all in the beginning, we lived through it with Wizard of Oz, certainly, where people waited and waited and waited. And, we didn't have a factory. We didn't have all the parts. We didn't have all the money. It was frustrating and took a very long time. We've grown up in the last 10 years, and now we're in a different position. Yes, there's still some wait. But what I've noticed, and I talk to hundreds of customers in a month. Sometimes it seems I speak with 100 customers in a week easily. 99 of them looking for their games, but the other one saying how great and how happy they are that they got the game. Really, people now seem to be focused on buying quality and not quantity. They're not buying maybe 5 or 6 new pinball machines a year. They're looking to buy 2 or 3 or like that, the better ones, the higher end ones. Certainly Jersey Jack games seem to get bolted to the floor and they don't go anywhere. So the people realize, thank goodness for them, are loyal customers that love what we do. They're willing to wait. I was talking to a customer yesterday who I know for 20 years, back from pinballsales.com days, and he just ordered a Guns N' Roses LE. I don't know what he waited for, but he just ordered a Guns N' Roses LE. And, he called me up and he says, for old time's sake, what do you think? You think I'll have the game by this date or that date or the other? And I said, you'll have the game as soon as possible. Everybody's in a queue, and we're going in order. And we're shipping games around the world. It's nice that Europe dropped the tariff
yes, I was going to ask
for a
you
little
about
while.
That. Yes.
So, we're getting games out to Europe to try to help the European customers out. We're getting games out to Australia. We're getting games out to the United States, Canada, all the places where everybody wants our games. So I'm really proud of that, and I'm really happy that we're able to do it. And every day, to me, from where I see and I talk to, it seems to be, forward momentum. It's good progress.
Right. Now, so you mentioned how many games are being built currently at the Elk Grove factory. Is there still room to grow, to get more people in and build more games, or is that maximum capacity?
No, that's not maximum. I think it's going to be more than that, and certainly a second assembly line will come, and we'll just continue more and more. I mean, I think from where we are in a very lucky place to be, people want our games. I mean, I would really have a problem if we designed something and put it out there and nobody wanted it. I think that's a lot bigger problem to have. So right. We've been blessed from the beginning that people want our games. I mean, I get calls. almost every day, people looking for Hobbit, people looking for Willy Wonka, people looking for Pirates, people looking for Wizard of Oz.
Sounds like you don't need a second line. You need a second factory.
Our distributors, if we look and do a channel check, really, I don't think there's many distributors that have any stock of our games. They don't have them. There's nothing in the channel.
So I know of this property that recently became available in Lakewood, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Would that be something to build like
I'll tell you something. That's why in a car, even in those cars in the UK, the rearview mirror is a lot smaller than the windshield because we don't drive backwards, we drive forwards, right? So.
Well, in the UK, I wouldn't be so sure of that.
Oi.
Okay.
I mean, they drive on the wrong side of the road, so I might as well drive backwards too.
Yeah, I don't know. They get to the roundabout and I want to tap out. I don't think I could drive the car, But I remember being in France one of the many times, and we were going around the circle at l'Arc de Triomphe, and my wife said to the taxi driver, "So if there's an accident, who's responsible?" And the cab driver explained, if you're inside a certain line closer to the center and you get in an accident, it's nobody's fault. Everybody just drives away. So.
Yeah. Sounds like a demolition derby.
It's fun to drive in different parts of the world, but our French friends are ready to go on lockdown again, so hopefully they'll be out there driving soon.
So do you know which particular models of Guns N' Roses are on the line at the moment?
LEs right now. LEs are on the line. Yep.
Are all the CEs made, or are there
yes,
more of those?
All the CEs have been built and I believe shipped or in the process of shipping. Containers are loading and things like that. Hopefully they don't have to go through the Suez Canal or anything like that.
Yeah. And you mentioned just now about the suspension of the 25% tariff that the EU imposed on pinball and other games. That suspension started in March and lasts for 4 months at the moment. Is there a kind of a rush on to get games to Europe within that 4-month window in case that suspension doesn't continue?
We were fortunate. We were focusing on building those games, and then I spoke with my congressman, and he was able to negotiate a peace and get that thing taken out of there. And that's an April Fools joke. So
I thought it might be.
Yeah. Chris Smith is a great guy, but I don't think he had anything to do with it. We got an amazing amount of phone calls and flurry of emails that you can't believe from our European distributors, all telling us what we found out basically at the same time they did, and pleading and begging to please get us games before the tariff goes back on. I'm a be positive, optimistic person, so I hope maybe the tariff never goes back.
Well, of course.
Maybe it'll be gone and we won't have to worry about it. But we're doing our best, really, to get everybody their games. I mean, we can't make everything a priority, right? Because then nothing's a priority. But
were you
working our hardest to get everything?
So were there many games stored that were destined for Europe that buyers basically said, or distributors said, like, okay, I'd like to order 20, but please store them for now, build them, store them, and as soon as the tariff is gone, then ship them?
No, you know what happened? Here's what happened, and it's not an April Fool's joke. In the beginning, everybody was shocked because of the way it happened. It was just... Certainly these things, nobody consults with people like us to give us a warning, but everybody found out that we were lumped in with this tariff having to do with airplanes that none of us have anything to do with. Mm. And then the initial shock wore off, and a lot of the customers, I talked to all the distributors involved, and so did Jen, and I made a silly comment to them. I said, I get that that's very expensive, 25%, and I'm not making light of the extra money, but why don't you talk to your customers? Because it's their money. They may want the game.
regardless.
Even with the 25. And some of the distributors were like saying to me things like, you're crazy, and I don't know. Is it
already April Fools?
I know we know that we can ask that question. And they asked the question, and pretty much everybody wanted their games. Everybody wanted their games. So within a quick turnaround of about a week or so, distributors came back to us and said, well, listen, we want all the games. We're not canceling anything. Just build them when they're in the queue, and we'll take them. And we just kept on track. We didn't move anybody out. We didn't say, well, I guess we could put them to the end of the line because they're in trouble and they have this 25% tariff or anything. We just kept everything as it was, luckily, and it seemed to work out.
Right, because obviously the buyers, they would have their contract with the distributors, not with you directly. Right. So if they have a contract for a delivery of a game at a certain price, there needs to be that conversation between the distributor and the customer, right, as to whether they're willing to effectively break that contract and put the price up.
Yeah, there were German customers, French customers that know me for many years that just called me direct and said, I told my distributor I want my game, and I don't care about the extra 25%. I have nothing. Basically, several of them said to me, I have nothing to do. I'm at home. I want my game. So I don't care about the extra 25%. And I told my distributor that. And if my distributor doesn't want to take the whole container, I'll fly my game over. And I don't, I mean, you could just imagine some of the conversations. You can't believe them. But, when people want a pinball machine, don't get in their way. Just don't get out of the way. Just get them the game.
Right. So, speaking of people wanting pinball machines, we mentioned earlier Guns N' Roses is a tremendous hit game, I would say, no pun intended. But I think we had like 2 award shows and, of course, the Pinball News Game of the Year award. Mm-hmm. Do these awards result in additional sales?
They do. It's validation. If there are people, let's say, on the fence or thinking about it here, I told you the other day, a 20-year customer from PinballSales.com just ordered an LE Guns N' Roses. He happened to see the Twippies. He happened to see Slash and the whole acceptance video, and he knew as much about the game as I do. He did his research. He read everything, and he plunked his money down, and he wants a game. So I think the reason for it's nice to have the industry celebrate things that are great, and it's nice to have the people that appreciate them and play them and buy them celebrate the things they like. So those kind of awards that come from grassroots, it's not just a group of people that make things patting themselves on the back saying, okay, let's have an award show or something like that. It's pretty it's really genuine and touching, and it's very cool. It's nice to see the industry continue to grow and grow together too.
Well, even though you're still going to be busy building Guns N' Roses games for a long time yet, and it's a big success. At the very start of this, Jonathan was talking about the release schedule for the announcement of the game. What kind of factors go into deciding when you announce your next game? Is it when you're ready? Is it strictly when you're ready? Do other factors, if another company is going to release a game around the same time, or there's a show coming up, or what are the factors that determine when your next title is going to be announced?
I think in the old days it was about a show, a physical show. We got to get ready for Pinball Expo. We got to get ready for Texas Pinball Festival, something like that. It's pretty cool. COVID's taught us, unfortunately, a lot of lessons. A lot of them are bad lessons, and some of them are good lessons. You can make your own event, and you can create your own splash if what you're releasing is sufficient to make the splash in the pool. And we really don't look at what other people are doing. We really can't count on what other people are doing. It's nice that other people are coming out with games, but Coke doesn't like Pepsi, and Pepsi doesn't like Coke. They're both colas, let's say, and they're both drinks, and you respect the customer base, so the customers decide what they want to buy, and certainly customers, are free to do that based on what's presented to them in the marketplace. And I think timing for us is when we have all of our parts, when everything's worked out for us, when we have games in boxes, and when we're ready to ship games. We make an announcement, and here you go. We're off to the races.
Okay, so that brings up the question, keeping in mind that there's hundreds, if not thousands, of back orders for Guns N' Roses, are we likely to see the next Jersey Jack pinball title this year, or is it like, no, we're busy building Guns N' Roses, it will be somewhere 2022?
Could be, maybe not. We'll have to see how it goes, how we're building, and I think we could build the game for a long time. Even after we announce another game, it would probably be something that we continue to build. I could see that.
You're going to need a second line, because on one line you'll be building Guns N' Roses for the next 5 years.
Yeah, it's great. We never need a business advisor because we have thousands of them all over the world that are telling us how to run our company all the time. So
I'm not telling you how to run it.
No, I'm only teasing you, but it's a great thing. Everybody plays along, and it's good to have everybody play along, and it's good to have good problems to play along with. Not that I'm sitting with a building with 1,000 games that I can't sell. So this is a lot better problem to have. I'd rather have this one.
I can't blame you for that. No, of course. But it could also be. I'm ignoring all the rumors about what the next title may or may not be. But obviously, if that's a licensed game, there's also contract obligations. Usually, there's a certain term in which you have to take the game into production and so on, or maybe it's tying in with something. And having such a hit game as Guns N' Roses prior to that could be a problem because you simply don't get to get the game into production in the time frame that you would like it to be.
I see what you're saying, but I've heard about this in all the years I've been in the industry about games tying into a movie release or tying into something in a theater or something like that. And I never saw it matter. I remember operating games in a movie theater in Brooklyn, and we had a game that was directly tied into the movie that was showing, and basically it made the same money with the movie, without the movie, it didn't really matter. It wasn't that important. I go for licenses. Since I do the licensing, I go for licenses that are multi-generational, that last a long time, that appeal to everybody on Earth, children, women, men, older people, younger people. That's what I'm looking for. Things that we can bite into the story and have a lot of assets to be able to make the greatest game we can possibly make. So, I think we think about all those things, but I think we've been able to navigate them for the most part pretty well. I mean, look, with Hobbit, if you go back just quickly, it was only going to be 2 movies, and then in the middle of us having the license, it became 3 movies. Mm-hmm. So, there are certain things under our control, and there are certain things not under our control, like other companies do, and you do your best to navigate those things.
Okay.
On that point, would you say it's actually better to be producing a game sometime after if it's a movie, say, sometime after the movie is out, so you know exactly what all the assets are. You know when you can get them, and you won't end up with situations like you had with The Hobbit, where the 2 movies become the 3, and if you designed a game based around 2 movies, you then have to redesign all the rules and the inserts and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think The Hobbit taught us that lesson for sure. That's why other people have done games not based on the latest movie, but based on a classic movie, because they knew what it was. You know, when we did Wizard of Oz, it was a 70-plus.
I was going to say, you took an awful lot of time before you're taking up that, making that pinball machine. I mean,
yeah, could be maybe
over
not.
70 years. What took you so long?
Oh well, yeah. I mean, you know, we might have that license for the 100th anniversary. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, how long do you need before you know it's a classic title? You know, and it's something that you, as a company, would be interested in making a game based on. You know, you don't want something that's just a one hit, flash in the pan type movie, because we've seen how that worked in the past, where people made games based on movies which turned out to be, you know, duds, basically.
Right. Look, I think we all know that the 800-pound gorilla in the room is that you can have a really great game with not a really great theme, and it's still a very good game. And you can have a really great theme with a very bad design playfield and rule set that's just a waste of a license. So we try to put all our passion into every aspect of our games every time, because we want it to be the best we could possibly make it. And that's where the customer base, the player base, votes and gives you these kind of awards. It's affirmation of the work that all the people in the company are doing, really. It's a thank, and we give that thank you back in creating the game that makes everybody smile and everybody happy. So it's our pleasure to do that. It's our honor to do that.
I would say one of the key things that made Guns N' Roses such a success is the unparalleled, I think, tie-in and buy-in by the band and the assets that you're able to utilise in the development of the game, the video assets, the call-outs, the music. Is that, I don't know, how important is it to you when you're looking at licenses as to what assets you can get, and whether you can get cooperation from, you know, the key people involved in that license?
And if I may add to that, has that changed since Guns N' Roses?
Well, I don't think it's changed. I always try to go for what I can get. Certain things that we want and we can't get everything, I'll say, okay, we got most of what we need to make something really great. You know, I've passed on many licenses in these last few years because certain things are not available, or you know, not that they're easier to get or harder to get. That's just period not available. I mean, you can't pay a celebrity, you know, $100,000 to be part of something. It just doesn't work for our product. We're not going to be able to pass it along, and I don't want to set that precedent. In music, typically, everybody knows there's different licensing. You can license a few seconds of a song, or you can license the whole song. There's a difference in what you pay for the license fee. I felt with Guns N' Roses that I certainly wanted the whole length of the song. I didn't want to play 10 seconds or 20 seconds of a song. Getting the animation, getting the terabytes of concert footage, getting call-outs from band members, having Slash be an integral part of the design process. All those things certainly, you know, without question, contributed to make the game be what it is. I mean, there's no question about it. With other games like Pirates of the Caribbean, where we had basically almost nothing, our team brilliantly, in their genius, found a way to make an amazing game that's in very high demand. Where I saw the other day, a new in-box CE Guns N' Roses sold for $38,000.
CE Pirates, you mean?
CE Pirates, yeah. Sorry. Maybe like an April Fools kind of thing, but or maybe by next week it will sell for $38,000. Who knows?
Yeah.
Then why aren't you
wasn't you selling the game?
$38,000 by Christmas for sure. What?
So why aren't you making more of them then? No, not the CEs particularly, but more.
What,
Pirates?
You're talking about Pirates?
Yeah.
Well, because we're making Guns N' Roses right now, so that's what's in the oven, and that's what we're baking right now. So could we make more? Maybe. I don't know that we will or we won't. It really has not been a point of discussion right now. We're again going forward, not backwards.
You might need a third line.
Well, people ask us, they're looking for Wizard of Oz. They're looking for Willy Wonka. They're looking for, all of that. I get people asking for Hobbit. So, it's kind of funny how things go. And sometimes what you don't have is what everybody wants. It's kind of a crazy thing.
Well, surely if people want it, why are you not able to build it on if you've got the space? Okay, you're building Guns N' Roses flat out, but if you could get more staff, get more manufacturing capabilities, and the demand is there, and those people presumably aren't going to be buying Guns N' Roses. That's not the type of game that they want. They want a Wizard of Oz, they want a Hobbit, whatever. You're going to leave them just standing there and saying, "Well, sorry, we can't do it."
And maybe.
It seems a shame because.
But it also depends how big is the demand. If 50 people want the game,
there is a limit. There is a limit to everything, and there is a time frame to do things, and we'll see. I never say never. I've said that many years before Justin Bieber had a hit song, but I never say never, which is what drove me to start a pinball company to start with. That wasn't something on my bucket list or something that I wanted to do for many, many years. It was just something that happened. So some things need to be planned and some things need to be happening through the marketplace and through organic ways that they happen. So planning for things, it's great, but sometimes the greatest plans don't go the way you expect them to go. So it's certainly at this point in time, it's certainly better to build what's right in front of us. Guns N' Roses, let's build them, let's get them out, let's make everybody happy, and then let's move on to more and more and more of what we're doing.
Right. Now, since you mentioned Justin Bieber, I think now would be a perfect time to announce a Justin Bieber pinball machine.
You got it out of me today. You got me to tell you the next game is Justin Bieber. You got me.
You heard it first here on the Pinball News and Pinball Magazine PINcast.
Got me.
He's like I've got my credit card out right now. Tell me where to send the money.
Well, take that offline. And okay. April Fools.
Too bad. It would be such a hit game.
Do you know him?
Justin Bieber? I know his music.
Oh, okay. Well, if you know him, maybe we can figure something out.
I can pull I'm in the music business. I can pull a few strings, and if you're interested, just let me know, and I'll see what I can do for you.
Okay, I'll get back to you next April 1st.
Okay, fair enough.
So really in 21 days, 3 weeks from today, somebody's having a birthday.
Yeah, your daughter, Jen.
My daughter, Jen, and a good friend of mine also.
Yeah.
Jonathan, it's your birthday, April 22nd, right?
Yeah.
It's 3 weeks from today.
Yeah. You know what's the worst part?
What could be the worst part of your birthday?
50.
50? Come on, that's good.
What's the alternative?
I got socks older than 50 years old.
Yeah, well, 50 is the new 30, so I'm not complaining.
I like that. That's good. And what's... Well, we won't go there.
So, well, you've seen 50, so you know what it's like. And if I look at you and I see how energetic and vibrant you are, I'd love to be like that at your age. Which is not that I'm saying that you're old, but you're older than me.
I'm not that much older than you.
No, but still, but yeah. It's the same like with Wayne Nyans. The guy is 102, and he's still. You have to. He's still going.
Are you still hocking him to do articles, or did you leave the poor guy alone?
No, I call him occasionally. I'm actually trying to get him to design a new game.
You're gonna kill the guy. Could you leave him alone?
No, I got the feeling he likes it when I call. So as long as I still get that feeling, I'm gonna keep on calling him.
I think he's probably just being nice.
Maybe.
He probably says, "Oh," he probably looks at the caller ID and it says Jonathan, and he says, "Oh, this pain in the ass is calling me again."
He doesn't have to answer.
He's probably still trying to work out how to do the call blocking feature on his phone.
Maybe you should talk to Gary Flower and figure it out.
Oh, well.
I wonder if Gary calls him as well.
Gary Flower.
Oh, and we end where we came in. So, well, thank you very much indeed, Jack. Thank you for being on our PINcast again.
I love you guys. I'm only sorry, this is April now, so...
Yeah, we're not in France.
Where do we usually wind up in April, right? Where do we wind up, right?
I know.
Le Chapeau in France.
We end up in the basement drinking champagne out of plastic glasses.
and eating
chocolates.
Chocolate,
and eating crepes with Nutella.
Oh, it's so good. I miss that so much. And the mayor would come.
Oh, the mayor, yeah.
Like
happy hour.
Be drinking. Goodness knows.
Happy hour on a noon Saturday and hard liquor on the table.
What is that stuff? Ricard. What is that?
Yes, Ricard. Excellent.
I have to go to the liquor. I don't drink much, but I'll have to go to the liquor store and buy some of that stuff. And what do you mix that with again, Martin?
Water.
Yeah, just water. Yeah,
just water.
And
it's like bleach, right? You just activate it with some water.
It's medicinal, I'm sure. But all you need to do to recreate it is to find a cupboard somewhere, put some chairs in there, and turn out the light, and find yourself a plastic cup, and just sit in there, and it'll be just like France.
We need Frank Michaud. We need him.
Oh, Frank. Oh, yeah, that's right.
I wonder how he's doing with his movie theater. Probably not so good in a town of 2,300 people.
Yeah, sadly so. Yeah,
under lockdown.
Distance, 3 people a day, and cycle through a year when everybody in the town can see the movie.
Yeah, but I'm sure he'll bounce back as indeed we will, and and we look forward to seeing you again in person very soon.
Well, thank you, and we're all looking forward to seeing everybody in person very soon. Thank you very much, and I can't wait till I hug Gary Flower again, wherever that is.
Well, we're looking at hopefully being able to attend Pinball Expo, if that will take place as a live event.
I talked to Rob Burke the other day, and he's very excited. He has a new venue. He's all excited about everything, and he's looking forward to it. He said to me, "Tell your factory to build a whole day's production, and I'd like to see those games on the floor of Pinball Expo." And I said, "Okay, we'll work on that." I said, maybe you could come to Chicago and start putting them together yourself too. April Fools.
So you asked me for my references in the music industry. If you can reach out to a certain Joe Biden and tell him to lift the ban on flying actually into America, because currently we can't, that would be a first step.
Yeah. It's it'll ease up. You know what's going to happen. I don't know if you gentlemen got your vaccines yet. Did you?
I have. I've had my first one.
Okay, the first one, did you get? How about you, Jonathan?
No, nothing. No, not even
Yeah,
scheduled.
and you know what's weird? Like, a lot of vaccines are made in Belgium, right next to you. So it's funny how they
even
don't
in the
find their
Netherlands,
way
and they're being exported right away.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think probably what will happen, you don't have to be genius to figure it out, is that there'll be some kind of app that's universal for the world that everybody will have to put their information in, verify that they have received the vaccines, and then they'll be able to go to stadiums and travel and go to concerts and all that kind of thing. Because I understand there are a lot of people that still don't want to get a vaccine because it's in the experimental stage, and there's people that are worried about different things about it. But you know, it's a way forward out of this, and of course we know there's a lot that we don't know, how long it lasts for. Do you need a booster shot and all that kind of stuff? But you know, all the people on Pinball, they could figure everything out. So I would have given this whole thing to all the people in Pinball. They would have came up with that vaccine in 3 months.
We already cured it.
It would have been done. If they gave it to Pinball people, it would have been done already.
While we're at it, give us cancer too. We'll cure that along the way as well.
Yeah, I believe in the pinball community, and thank you again on behalf of the company for the wonderful award. And
you're very welcome. It's on behalf of the readers. I mean, I can say that they voted for you as Game of the Year, and of course all those amazing Twippies for the various different categories and Game of the Year. So yeah, it's an amazing game, and I say you should be proud of it. I'm sure you certainly are, and it's you know, just goes to show that you keep growing the company and keep growing the product, and I think personally I'd say that it's the best game that I've seen. Guns N' Roses.
Well, that means a lot. That means a lot coming from you.
But unfortunately, I have only seen it because I haven't played it.
Yeah.
Because I can't get to play one, but hopefully before too long, and then
soon.
Then in as Jonathan said, hopefully by October, we'll all be able to come over and join you in Chicago for Pinball Expo, and after that, the Midwest Gaming Classic.
Yeah. Go talk to Phil Palmer. He's got some of them. I'm sure you can get together with him, and he can direct you where to play.
Well, soon, hopefully, yes. That's right, yeah. Okay. Well, thanks again, Jack, for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
On all the awards.
Gary, you want to say goodbye, Gary?
Yeah, bye, Gary.
Goodbye, Gary.
So, anyway, thanks, Jack, and we hope to have you back on our show very soon.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it very much, guys.
Thanks very much, Jack, again. Yeah. Very interesting update on what's going on at the Jersey Jack Pinball business there in the factory.
Yeah, it's always nice to have Jack come on to the show. And, good prank, I suppose. April Fools trying to call in as Gary Flower. Oh, yeah. Well,
we'll see if we can get Gary on soon-ish.
Yeah, well, well, we always try, but for some reason, it's not in the stars, I suppose. I'm not sure what to make of it, but God knows we're trying.
Yes, nobody can say we're not trying. That's true. Okay, so we looked at what Jersey Jack Pinball were doing there with the making the LE games for Guns N' Roses, and talking about the European Union's 25% tariff, which, as Jack said, has been suspended for 4 months. Yeah, through till middle of July, I think, or the start of July at least. So that obviously affects all the manufacturers, not just Jersey Jack. So hopefully hopefully for us at least in Europe, there'll be a flood of new games coming into the country now that that is temporarily suspended.
Right.
So we didn't actually mention any of the new code, because there's been a lot of new code for Jersey Jack games.
just getting into
in March. Oh, well, we don't want to go into it in too much detail, do we? Because it gets a bit boring. So we just mentioned that Guns N' Roses, being their newest game and still in development, there were actually 4 updates.
So if I understand this correctly, they put out an update, then they put out an update to correct the mistakes that the errors that they made in the previous update, only to be followed by another update to correct.
Yeah, it's an ongoing process, shall we say. Probably the biggest thing that they did was in both Guns N' Roses and Willy Wonka was they managed to break the Wi-Fi updating. That was done in version 1.16 and 1.15, 1.16 and 1.17 versions of the code. 1.15 was last month, as in February, but it wasn't until 1.18 that they fixed it. But if you've got any of the older versions of code, you can't update it via Wi-Fi. You have to actually download it onto a USB stick in the old-fashioned way. And update to 1.18 or 1.19, which is the current version.
So nostalgic.
From then onwards, you can use the Wi-Fi again to update. So they did that on Guns N' Roses and Willy Wonka on version 1.34. That broke the Wi-Fi update. So 1.35 is the current one, which fixes it again. But if you did install 1.34, you will need to use the memory stick to update it again. Lots of changes, as you would expect. The 2 most recent games, Guns N' Roses, some changes to code, rules, I should say, and there seem to be a number of crashes that can occur in various situations, but they gradually being ironed out. Willy Wonka's more mature, and they're sort of doing more rule tweaks and finessing the way the game plays a bit more, I think. So nothing earth-shattering on that, but some nice additions and extra scoring opportunities on both those games. And I think I'm just going to leave it at that, really, as far as code goes.
Okay, well, let's go next door, I would say. Stern Pinball.
Yeah, again, no new game releases, but there has been a new product release, or in fact, a couple of product releases. One of which is a new topper. Now, this seems to be the big cash cow in the pinball industry, and certainly for Stern.
Much to my surprise, I would say.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, something which affects gameplay not in the least. But if you can't change what's happening on the playfield, you're going to change what's happening on top of the back box. And for Stranger Things, there is now...
And what's happening in your wallet.
Well, yeah, it's certainly changed your bank balance, that's for sure. Stranger Things has got a topper now, which doesn't have any actual physical movement on it. But it brings back the sort of infinity mirror lighting effects as we used to see on the old Bally games.
Yeah.
Which was always very, very effective.
Had that.
Yeah, looked great, and they've done a miniaturized version of that and put it in a back box topper unit, and it looks nice, but it has some good, obviously RGB LEDs these days, so it's not just a single color that we used to get, and it does have a nice infinity effect. It has modes that react to the gameplay. And it has a nice attract mode as well. But does it affect how the game plays? No, not in the least. But it looks nice. It's pretty, and it's $650 basically.
What?
$49.99, which compared to some of the toppers that have been out there is relatively cheap.
Well,
but
up to Elvira, all toppers were under $500, if I'm not mistaken, and you put out $1,000 topper, and the next one is $650. That's
well, there was Star Wars, of course, which was legendary, and
for the delay that it took to launch it.
And the price as well. But
right.
So in the scheme of things, $649.99 is, I suppose, mid-range, should we say? But it's
I call this highway robbery.
Well, be careful how we use that phrase these days. But it's already sold out, as is these things, as the way of these things. There was a black market in toppers.
Did they announce how many they would be making?
No. No, but it's not available to buy on the Stearns shop. You may be able to buy it from a distributor if they...
Okay, now, it may sound a little bit harsh, but in all fairness, Stranger Things wasn't that popular of a game.
It wasn't. It didn't receive great critical acclaim when it first came out. It's getting a bit of later love, I think, once people start to understand the rules more.
Right. But that could indicate that they maybe only did like 50 toppers, so it's not no wonder if that's the case that they sold out, because, well, there's not that many games to put them on, and so the less you make, the easier the quicker you sell out.
I guess so, but you probably want to you always want to have some in stock, even if it's only like 1 or 2 left.
Well, yeah, you know what these toppers do on eBay these days.
Well, exactly, yeah, but that's not money for Stern, is it? That's money for the people who buy them early and resell them.
If I were Stern, I would stock them and say, like, hey, they're sold out, and then sell them one by one on eBay.
Well, that's a thought, yeah. Anyway, it exists. It's out there. You can't buy it from Stern. You can probably buy it from distributor, and you can probably, as you say, buy it on eBay. Or you can make one yourself.
There might be more fun as well.
Yeah. Other things from Stern. There's also not exactly in the same price range. In fact, almost 100th of the price. You can buy some Rampage collectible sticker packs featuring the art of Brian Holderman.
Yeah, and then I'm thinking, like, did Brian Holderman ever do a pinball art package?
May have contributed, but
not as the lead artist, I would say.
No, not as the lead. No, I mean some of the Stern titles have had multiple artists, as we know. I'm trying to think which is the last. Probably Star Wars. I think was probably had like 6 artists working on it. So I don't know whether he was.
Well, anyway, so a bunch of stickers. Woohoo!
Yeah, 6 vinyl stickers.
Are we 6-year-olds?
You can stick them on your lunchbox. You can stick them on your briefcase. You can stick them on your car, whatever. Bumper sticker. 6 of them, from 3 to 4 inches in size, and they cost $6.99. So if that's your thing, you can get them from the Stern shop. It probably costs more to get them actually sent to you than to buy them.
You do get bragging credits that you actually ordered something in the Stern shop, because most people will think, wow, that's really expensive.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you should mention that, because one of the things I was looking at when I was on the Stern shop, looking at the price of these various, at the topper and the stickers, was I noticed that they've got the board set available for the Spike 2 system. So you can buy all the individual component parts. And
because they fry up so easily.
Well, that's what I thought. And I remember when they started dying, the people were saying, oh, you have to spend $300 and buy a new node board. So I was looking on there, and you could actually buy the node boards, the main node board, for $99.
Woohoo.
Which, okay, you shouldn't have to buy a new node board if it's under warranty, but it's not anywhere near as expensive as maybe people have been making out. And the node board that goes in the cabinet was only $70 only, which seemed quite reasonable. And all the power boards and LED boards and various other, as a soundboard, I think. And you can buy the entire Spike 2 CPU board as well for like $300 or $350. So it's not massively expensive. You might tend to think that the sort of things being only available from one source, i.e. Stern, that they might sort of price gouge on it, but no, not at all. I was pleasantly surprised that something from the Stern shop was very reasonably priced, considering. So if you do need to stock up on a spare node board or two, they're not going to break the bank. Okay. And available from the Stern shop and probably through your distributors.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. I don't have any Stern games that need any node boards to be replaced. But
not yet.
Well, yeah, if you put it like that, it's just a matter of time. But let's hope not.
It's a matter of time before everybody buys them.
Anytime in the near future.
Before people buy them up and stick them on eBay like toppers. Hey,
okay.
You could do a topper made out of node boards.
Right, so I'm looking at the notes. I see Stern had a heads-up Pinball Invitational.
They did. Had the final of the Marvel Avengers Infinity Quest Stern Heads Up Pinball Invitational, as you just said. It featured, I think, 8 local players, i.e. ones who lived in Illinois and close to Chicago, all taking place in head-to-head challenges. Not really my sort of thing, I have to admit. It's an invitational, so it's like hand-picked as to exactly who's on there. But I actually found it quite interesting. It was surprisingly swift. You think the tournament thing was going to go on forever, but this was a series of challenges, like starter multi-ball or starter mode, which only involved like 5 shots to a captive ball, but it's whoever could do it quickest, or whoever could get the required number of spins on the Doctor Strange spinner, and then knock the ball underneath in order to start the mode. Whoever did that first won the challenge. So, first one I saw was like I think it was over in like 15 seconds from the start of the game. So it wasn't really drawn out, but it did look, I have to say, congratulations to everyone involved. It looked absolutely amazing. The presentation, excellent graphics. It was Tim Sexton, it was Jack Danger, there's Moto Harney in there as well, all representing. And really nicely done. And clearly a lot of effort went into it. Looked a great studio that they put themselves into. I guess it was a virtual studio, but it looked really good. And it was won by Anna Neal, who won herself a brand new Stern pinball machine. So congratulations to Anna.
Wow. So hold on. So you have you invite 8 people to do this heads-up challenge invitational thing, and the winner gets a pinball machine.
Yeah.
I mean, usually it takes tournaments with hundreds of people.
I know.
To win a pinball machine. And this is 8 people handpicked, like, hey, you want to win a pinball machine? Come over, let's play some pinball, and you win one.
Yeah, it's you have to fancy your odds if you're one of those.
I'd like to be invited the next time.
Well, you have to move to Illinois in that case. But hopefully over time they'll expand this out and get more people involved. But if you want to watch it, and it's not hugely long. It's only about like 45 minutes or something like that. It's available on the Marvel Instagram feed, which is unsurprisingly Instagram.com/Marvel, and you can watch all the games there. And it is it's entertaining. I was surprised. I was not really one for watching tournament pinball in that way online, because it's especially when it's pre-recorded and there's a certain sense of suspense taken out of it. But no, all credit to the production team there. Excellent job and entertaining.
Right. Okay. So now before we move on to the code updates for Stern games, not sure whether we discussed it last month, but Steve Ritchie commented, I think, on Facebook, where he acknowledged that there are some spinner issues with the Electric Magic mechanism on the premium and limited edition Led Zeppelin games. And their customer support, the technical guys there, are working towards a solution for that. From what I understood, there's 2 types of problems. One of the problems could be that, or might be, that the Electric Magic device could lower during multi-ball, and it would still be possible to shoot the ball into the spinner. But as the ball would actually, because the mechanism was lowered, you actually shoot straight into the wire form, bending it, making sure that the spinner isn't spinning anymore.
Yes, that's right. If it's the idea, obviously, with the spinner is that you shoot under the pivot point so that it spins. But if the whole mechanism is sinking into the playfield at the time, you could shoot it and hit the spinner higher up, and as you said, you could bend the wire form and distort the spinner and stop it spinning.
Right, and the other issue apparently is that the posts that the spinner is pivoted on, I suppose that's the correct terminology, are too tight to the spinner, making it very difficult to spin. It needs more room.
Yeah, that's right.
Obviously, that can be done by bending them mechanically. But if you buy how much is that game? you'd expect the spinner to work properly, right? So, I tried to get it confirmed, but I couldn't find anybody to confirm it. But it appears that Stern actually quit production of Led Zeppelin for the time being, in order to solve that, and are focusing on backlog games that still have to be delivered, like Avengers and Turtles and so on.
Mm. Yeah.
Well, obviously, once this issue has been fixed, they will pick up the production of Led Zeppelin again.
Right. Okay. Well,
the premium models. I suppose the limited edition games are already all manufactured, but even that I don't know for sure.
Well, we did mention about the potential issues with the Electric Magic last month, but this month, as part of the code updates, they have actually implemented some of the things that we were talking or suggesting might be useful in the most recent Led Zeppelin code update.
What a nice bridge!
Yeah, I know, almost Electric Magic. Some settings there which you can change when the device moves. So there's an option to only move it when the balls are locked. So there's no ball actually in play on the playfield, which is one of the options that we were talking about last time. And the other option we were talking about was only move it when the ball is further away, further up the playfield in the pop bumpers or something like that. And that's also another option now, what they call move on far shots. So it only moves when a ramp or an orbit or an eject shot is made. So and the ball is known to be away from the flippers. So there is also the option to not do any of that and just do whatever it did before, but then you run the risk of damaging it. So that's in version.
It must be challenging for Stern programmers to come up with solutions like that, because obviously, while there might be a lot of repetition in the programming of pinball, this is something that we have never seen before.
Yeah, I mean, it's a software solution to, I guess, what's a hardware issue, isn't it? They're trying to prevent damage to the game through the use of software.
Right. Okay, well, Led Zeppelin latest code update is version 0.98, if I'm not mistaken. I have to say, to my surprise, they're actually approaching 1.0 quicker than I thought they would.
Yeah, the game.
We're not there yet, but
no, the game wasn't sort of rushed out. I don't think it was, although it was brought out on the normal schedule. But I get the feeling that they had a little more time to work on this. But even so, this latest update, 0.98, as you mentioned, from the 9th of March, that has a huge number of adjustments and new features and display animations and rules, and there's a lot in there. Far too much to talk about at the moment. Even sort of new expression lighting modes that they put in. So there's a lot of work still going into this game, even though it's as you say, it's very close to version 1, but it's not there yet. But if you haven't got this version in your game, then you certainly should have, because it's definitely worthwhile doing the update.
Right. Okay. So there was also an update for Elvira's House of Horrors.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's past version 1 a while ago. On to 1.02 at the moment, which again, it's mainly sort of little tweaks and things. There's the turret on top of the house can spin. Well, that's got some extra features now. So it turns at the start of the game and when you lock a ball in the garage, and basically there's a few other mode tweaks in there but really nothing huge, and some bug fixes, of course, as there are in every game update. So version 1.02, definitely worth having again. This isn't a fix like we talked about earlier to something which they broke earlier, I don't think, or if it is, it's only minor. So Elvira's House of Horrors, again, a game which it didn't get a huge amount of love when it first came out, getting greater appreciation now.
With the pricing of the game, I suppose.
Well, that too, but also I think the rules.
They were obviously the game was delayed for years, and then it still felt like it had rushed code.
Yeah.
So, but it has improved a lot since it was launched. So there's no denying that it's becoming a fun game.
Yeah,
I was watching a stream. I actually had to laugh. So there is the humor in there that I was missing at first.
Ah, right. Yes, that was one of your early criticisms of the game, wasn't it? That of all the games, you expect a lot more double entendres in there and innuendo. And
well, if it's an Elvira game, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a valid point. Yeah. So I think that wraps up our news from Stern. Now let's head over to Taiwan, because in the last PINcast that we recorded, you hinted about some news coming from.
Yeah, and I couldn't share it. In the meantime, I did already announce it in my Pinball Magazine newsletter, to which anybody can subscribe for free on pinball-magazine.com. I shared a couple of pictures. I had spoken to Mike Kalinowski of Homepin, and he told me that he had manufactured 4 Porsche-themed pinball machines.
Right. Okay.
And these games were intended for car trade shows, and they're basically a marketing tool to harvest email addresses. Pinball isn't known that much in China, but it's a cool-looking device.
And this was only for use in China, was it?
Yes.
Right.
And at these car shows, they're not commercially for sale or anything. The layout, surprisingly, is identical to the layout of Firepower, a Steve Ritchie game from, I think, 1981. I say from the top of my head.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. There's well, it's not completely identical. I think Firepower has 4 pop bumpers and this one has 3. And I think that's about the difference.
All right. Yeah. But you can still lock balls and start a multi-ball on it.
Yes, you can. And the main objective of the game is to there's 3 target drop target banks, and the left one spells Tay and the other spells Can, which is a Porsche model, the Tay Can, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check if I say that correctly.
I would not be in a position to help you with that, not being their target audience.
Oh, I thought because you didn't read my newsletters.
No, well, obviously I read that, but that was a while ago. That was a couple of weeks. So, now they're mid-month, aren't they? They're not the start of the month or the end of the month. So.
Yeah, I'm very unprofessional about that.
No, I think it's a good idea.
So, it spells Taycan on the drop targets, and then there's 3 stand-up targets on the right of the playfield. Those represent various forms of hybrid energy, solar power or wind power, and that kind of stuff. And
is this suggesting this is an electric car then?
Quite possibly, yes.
Or at least hybrid, maybe.
Yeah. So, but anyway, 4 prototypes for trade shows, and the cabinet artwork is very, very basic. It's just a black cabinet with the Porsche name, the logo of Porsche on it, and that's about it. The funny thing was, Mike had already told me that he was building these, but at that time it was off the record. And then last month he shared a photo on his Facebook of belly transformers they are building. Yep. And there was a Porsche cabinet in the background, and hardly anybody noticed it. So, but for me that was a cue to reach out and ask about it. So,
right.
I can't share it, but I have seen video footage of the game. It's very basic. It has a blue dot matrix display. If you hit the the drop targets, the ones that spell out taken, the letters light up on the display. It's really, really basic coding.
And there's an LCD as well, is there? That
yeah, I think so.
Is that part of the game, do you think, or is that just
that's mostly used to display commercials and stuff like that. I think the LCD is mostly used for the progress that you make on shooting the drop targets and the scores.
Right.
So.
Okay.
But it's a marketing tool to harvest email addresses, so it doesn't have to be a deep game. No. It's not going to be used for home use. The idea is that people line up, play a game, walk away, and get spent for the rest of their life.
Yeah, you obviously don't want people playing that game for like an hour. You want them to have a quick, 1 minute, 2 minute game, put their email contact details in and get the hell out of there.
I think you probably have to leave your email contacts before you can play the game. So
okay.
Yeah, that's how I would do it.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just to confirm, the Porsche Taycan is indeed an electric sports car.
Right. Okay. And other news from Homepin, and you saw that as well today. They announced yesterday that Homepin shipped their first made in Taiwan pinball machine.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, that's a landmark for them. They've been setting up their factory for over a year in order to produce them, and as you said, been producing other products, but hadn't actually been manufacturing any pinballs until now. And yesterday they announced that they had no indication of exactly which model it was, whether it was the Thunderbird game, whether it was something new. Don't think China Zombies is going into production. Is it?
I haven't heard much about it. I think now that they moved to Taiwan, and Taiwan is not really considering themselves a state of China, although
China thinks they are.
Yes, exactly. So, not sure whether that game is actually going to see production. Although I have seen some video footage of it, and the playfield looked like could be fun, but oh well.
Well, when you spoke to Mike, did you get the impression that all 4 of those Porsche games had already been made, or could this be?
Yeah, they were already done.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So this wasn't this first game that was produced. There wouldn't have been one of those Porsche games.
I wouldn't be able to tell. I probably have to check. I mean, it seems odd to me to ship it like that to a trade show, but then again, you don't know.
Well, if they've been setting up the place for a year, then no, they didn't build those Porsche games a year ago, so they must have built them in Taiwan.
Yes.
So it kind of makes sense that they must have shipped them from Taiwan. So maybe this is one of those. I was zooming in on the picture that was on the Facebook page for Homepin, trying to work out what it was that was in the game. It's in Chinese, but it's all wrapped up as well. But it did seem to say at the top of the shipping label like a model number, and it looked to me like it said P7, but it could have been P1, or it could have been something else entirely, which could have been Porsche, one of the Porsche models, but. Don't know.
It could have been Thunderbird.
Could have been. Yeah, could have been, but I don't know. Well, we don't know, but we might find out eventually. Maybe we'll get Mike on and ask him.
Yeah, well, it would be fun to have Mike on.
Yeah.
It's always a good laugh with him.
Absolutely. Yeah. So anyway, I think that's all the news from Homepin, unless you have anything else.
No, I think that's it. Yes.
Okay. Well, moving on then. Let's come. I was going to say come back to Europe, but in a way it's also in the US, because we're now going to look at Pinball Brothers and the Alien game that they're remaking in a new updated version with some changes to the playfield and the back box as well, and the cabinet. Mm-hmm. And it's being made by Pedretti in Italy, and the first model from Pedretti has been sent over to CoinTaker in the US for them to basically give their opinion on it and make any suggestions for changes that need to be made to it before it goes into mass production. Now, the Super Awesome Pinball Show did a 6-minute video from CoinTaker, showing the prototype game and pointing out the differences from the original, as well as showing a little bit of the gameplay. Not a huge amount. It was not that clear as to exactly what the gameplay differences are, but it seemed to play well, as you would hope. The cabinet does look a lot more, shall we say, conventional and plain than the Highway Pinball version. But the Highway Pinball version was sort of radically different in the way that it had the sort of modular panels. Look, the slot-in illuminated side panels, the button boxes, the back box was completely different shape, much more.
Yeah, everything to make it look less attractive.
Yeah, well, less familiar anyway, and now it looks a lot more like a standard game. So. Yeah, although it's a wide body, though, that being said. But the lighting on it looked very nice. It's obviously got a smaller display than the previous games, and I think that may be probably the only negative about the game, because the rest of it seems to work very well. Yeah. And hopefully it's going to be reliable, more reliable than
I was going to say. First-time pinball manufacturer, you want to... Well, you're not jumping to conclusions after two minutes of gameplay or something.
No, absolutely not. But they know they've got the experience of what failed on the previous version of it and where the weak points were, and you would hope that they would have addressed those now. And but that's up for CoinTaker to basically hammer the game and pass their recommendations back to Pinball Brothers, so to make any adjustments that need to be done before they start shipping.
Shall we see if we can get a feedback from CoinTaker what they think of the game, and not what they say because they have to sell them, but what they actually think of it, which could still be good. Don't get me wrong, but Yeah,
I mean, I'm guessing that Pinball Brothers are going to act on whatever CoinTaker tell them. If they say something needs changing, they'll try and change it if they can. Although CoinTaker are not the only distributor of Pinball Brothers games.
Which makes me wonder whether there is distributors in Europe that actually get a game on a test, so to speak, to give it a couple of plays and see what they think about it.
Well, I did see a post in the UK from Pinball Bazaar, who are the distributors for Pinball Brothers' Alien game in the UK, and they said that they were expecting to get a game very, very shortly. So, yeah, maybe...
So when are you going there? When are you coming over?
Well, we're not allowed at the moment, unfortunately, due to COVID restrictions, but hopefully that won't be too much longer. Maybe... at a show that's coming up in a couple of months' time, we might see that game. I think we're taking one of the people going there is taking an original Alien as well. So it'd be interesting if they could put the original and the new version side by side, and then the people can do the comparison themselves.
Right. Okay. Well, let's see how that goes.
Okay, so I think that's all the news from Pinball Brothers. I haven't got anything else from them. And
no.
Okay, so we'll move on. And we got some news from American Pinball as well this month. They've been working with the IFPA to collect some game audit information because obviously there's quite a few owners of their Houdini Oktoberfest and Hot Wheels machines out there, and American Pinball would like to know how those games are performing and what shots and modes and features people are able to activate or not able to activate in order to improve their future games. And they've teamed up with the IFPA in order to get that kind of information. I don't quite know whether there's anything further into that, whether that's going to lead to some collaboration between the two on competitive pinball. But if you have one of the Oktoberfest Houdini or Hot Wheels games and would like to help the companies and IFPA out, then you can submit your audit information to ifpa@gmail.com. You just need to go into the menus, plug a USB stick in, And it'll then download the information onto that, and you can email it to the IFPA, and they will pass it on to American Pinball.
Okay, I'm just curious how interesting that data is, because I suppose most of the collectors or home users that bought a Houdini are probably people that have a bunch of games. And if it's not your favorite game, then you maybe turn it on once every 6 months. So that's not going to be that much data to share.
Well, maybe, but it'll show what people are able to start. If you only play 20 games on it, then you can see what was achieved within those 20 games. Should hopefully, if they've got someone who's played 200 games, they can see whether they're still getting the same features started all the time, and a whole bunch of features never get completed or activated, in which case you can put that towards future software and hardware development. If there are shots that are so tight that it's virtually pointless having them because nobody ever makes them, then that should help with the development.
Right. So, any new hires?
No, actually, no. Unusually, we did have a whole string of new appointments there, but no, we haven't had that. What we have got is we got some new playfield prints of the Houdini playfield. They are, we were talking about prints earlier, and these are also the premium luster photo paper prints. They are 18 inches by 24 inches. It's the artwork from Jeff Bush. And American Pinball say it'll make a wonderful decoration for your game room or living space. So 24 inches, 2 foot, about 65 centimeters. And the cost is $35 for that. If you would like one of those, then go to the American Pinball website, and you can order them there.
Right. So it's not full, not
real
full
size. No. It's a reduced size version. So much more amenable to putting in a frame, I'd have thought, than an actual playfield shape one.
And are these being sold by American Pinball?
They are.
Or by Jeff Bush?
No, they're being sold by American Pinball.
Okay.
Yeah. Other media that they produce as well. They've got 7 tutorial videos which you can find on their Facebook page, which teach you how to play Hot Wheels and some of the more detailed rules of the game, how to start multi-ball, how to start various features. So they're well produced, and they're probably on other places as well. They're probably on Instagram and maybe on YouTube, but certainly on the American Pinball Facebook page. That's where I was watching them, and so go there and just click on the videos tab at the top, and you'll see all 7 of them ready to stream.
Okay. I still have to play Hot Wheels, so for now it's no use for me to look them up, but as soon as I get the chance to play Hot Wheels, I will.
Yeah, and you can prime yourself on what to shoot for before you actually get on the game, which is very useful. Well,
there's a little bit of news coming from Scott Anisi.
Ah, yes.
He was recently, as in last week, interviewed on the Flippin' and Mashing podcast, which was almost a 2-hour-long interview, and trust me, with all the respect, it was rather. I was really waiting to when does it become interesting, and that was right at the end. So thank you for wasting 2 hours. I mean, they talked about his car and stuff like that. So,
perhaps we should.
And then finally the question came
for those who are not familiar.
Right. So, and then finally the question came: what Scott has been working on what he could disclose, and 2 interesting things to take away from that. Scott mentioned that he has not been working on a pinball design since Rick and Morty, and that he has been working on the sound package for the next multimorphic P3 release. So the next big game that that Multimorphic is going to release will have a soundtrack by Scott Denisi.
Right. Okay.
And that could be very interesting because the soundtrack for TNA very much synthesized and stuff like that. But that could indicate that Multimorphic might have another winner on their hand.
Yes, it's also interesting that they're working on a new game for the platform. I wonder if it's going to involve a new playfield module as well. But also, as you said, equally telling that he doesn't appear to be working on a spooky game at the moment.
Well, on any game, basically. He didn't say anything about spooky or whatever. He said he hasn't been working on a pinball design.
Right. Well, what one would have assumed up until now that if he was working on a game, it would have been for spooky, but we know that's not necessarily the case.
Right. So, remains to be seen. I think Spooky already indicated that their next title, isn't it going to be an Eric Priepke game?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no rush for Scott to get into game design.
Or anyone else. No.
Right.
And of course they're doing that collaboration with Chicago Gaming with the Ben Heck game.
Yeah, which, according to Ben Heck, is still going to take a while. He's still working on it. I think he mentioned on his socials that he's working with the same mechanical engineer that worked on Champions Pub.
Oh, right, okay.
And I forgot to look up who it is.
Oh, okay, I'm sure we can manage to do that, or people can do it for themselves. If they so desire.
Obviously.
But that particular game was full of interesting mechs.
Absolutely.
Not all of which necessarily work quite as well as you'd hope. The skip rope thing in particular seemed to be a little bit problematic, shall we say, because the ball kept falling off that one.
But apparently, from what I understand, according to previous comments by Ben Heck, his game has at least 2 other titles in front of it.
Yes, I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So while we're speaking on the topic of Chicago gaming, that's most likely the next long-awaited remake title.
Yeah, long rumored to be Cactus Canyon, but no confirmation of that.
It's just been rumored and not confirmed by Chicago Gaming, but I think Dennis Nordman mentioned when he was promoting being hired by American Pinball that he still has a game in the works for Chicago Gaming as well, which he's allowed to finish.
That's right, yeah.
So it's most likely that Dennis's game is prior to Ben Heck's as well. Which makes it very unlikely that the Ben Heck Spooky game will come out anywhere this year. So.
Yeah, maybe not even next year.
Well, I don't know. I don't know the planned schedule for Chicago Gaming.
Well, if they have a remake, I mean, it's assuming they stick to having a single production line and don't expand that manufacturing capability. But if they're doing a remake game, that's normally going to take at least 6 months, if not take up an entire year. And then if Genesis game was after that, you imagine that's going to take at least 6 months, if not a year. So between them, they could easily take you into 2022.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Chicago Gaming is very good at sort of staying under the news radar.
Yeah.
And then. Well, I suppose with the new remake, it's like similar to when they did Monster Bash. They didn't want to say anything until they were completely ready to show the product, and then they amazed everybody.
Yes, and presumably, again, they would do the same thing that they did before and bring out a super LE or a limited edition or a royal version or whatever with some extra bells and whistles, which they've been working on improving the either a topper or the playfield lighting or the display or who knows. Yeah.
Right. So officially no news from Chicago Gaming, but we are very positive they are working on lots of cool stuff, and they will show that to us whenever they are ready, I suppose.
Yeah, indeed. So, talking of cool stuff, it's good news. We mentioned Spooky Pinball earlier. It's
right.
Exciting news, and one of our headlines that they are so successful. They are expanding their business premises and
again.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, fifth time they said. In a Facebook post, they showed a picture of a digger preparing the ground next to their existing building and saying, "Here we go again."
I think they moved already twice, didn't they? They started out working from home, and then they had another location, and now they're at the current location, and they're expanding. They expanded last year, and now they're expanding again.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously
something like that.
All good news for them as far as the business goes. They say that their goal is to increase quality, make more games, and get them to you quicker. So they're getting more manufacturing capability, which is something they don't particularly want to be tied up doing one title for well over a year. Despite the fact it might be a very successful one, it's not great for the buyers who have to wait 12 months, 18 months for their purchase.
So expanding means they can hire more people to build games and ship games quicker.
Yeah, so seems like a win-win, really.
Right. Okay.
So congratulations to Spooky. You look forward to seeing their place. Who knows, if we get over there in October into November, we might be able to call in on the way and say hello to the team there.
Well, speaking of calling in, guess who's calling?
Ah, the real one?
Yeah, exactly.
Are we sure?
Yeah, my display it clearly says Gary Flower calling.
Right, let's see if it is.
Okay. Hey, Gary.
Hi, Gary.
Hey, guys, it's Gary Flower, April Fool.
Say what?
Well, short and sweet, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, at least we got him on the show.
Yeah, kind of. Well, yeah. I'm sure he has got a lot of information to tell us, but not yet. So yeah, April Fool on us for expecting more, I suppose.
Oh well, I guess he's entitled to do that. So
yeah.
I mean,
next time, we'll make a concerted effort to get more information out of him as well as actually getting. I
suppose we had a little fun at his expense occasionally.
Yeah. So, it's all
we can handle it, Gary. Yeah. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you for that. Yes.
Right. Okay. So, moving down the list of manufacturers with or without any news, Pinball Adventures.
Yeah. No news at the moment. They say they're going to have some news soon, but they're just getting on with the Punny Factory game. As far as I know, haven't got any updates from them, and they haven't published anything.
I forgot to check whether there are any new videos. Also, because I really don't want to watch them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, when there is some more obvious news, we'll bring that to you. But another company where I haven't been able to find out any news is Haggis Pinball and their Celt game.
Yeah, it's been awfully quiet there.
Yeah, been looking out, been checking all the social media feeds. Nothing yet, no more videos. So I guess they're just heads down, getting the games built. Let's hope that's the plan, anyway.
Yeah, let's hope that's the plan, and then we'll see how that goes.
Well, I hope they go a little better than Suncoast Pinball, who kind of in the news this month because there was an interesting post on Pinside from Jimmy Lipham, who is obviously working with Multimorphic a lot on their games, and he was involved in helping somebody get a Cosmic Carnival game up and running, which was having problems. But in part of that, he gave sort of interesting background on his involvement in helping Suncoast Pinball with the programming on Cosmic Carnival and some of the events that went on in the background at the company as they were trying to get the game ready for shows and get it into production.
Oh, good tell.
Yeah, I don't want to. It's his story to tell, not mine. So he does say there's an awful lot more that he could tell. So maybe in a future show or something, he might be tempted to tell the background story of the Cosmic Carnival game. But
bring out the liquor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get in the bar after the show's closed. I'm sure there'll be a lot more to say. But he does say quite a bit about the challenges that he had. So if you want to read more about that, go to Pinside and have a look in the Suncoast Pinball thread there, because I think it's the most recent post about Cosmic Carnival, so it should be fairly clear. And it's probably almost the last post in that rather long thread. So
right.
Yeah.
Well, it depends, of course, how many people responded since then.
Well, yes, I mean, but it's probably on the last page for a while anyway. I'm not going to read out the entire URL because it'd be boring as anything. But the post is anything but. So head on over if you want to have a little bit of background about Suncoast Pinball. Who are still Suncoast Pinball and Arcade are still in business, of course, because the pinball side went into both businesses went into Chapter 11 to reorganise in order to make a viable business, which involved closing down the pinball side. But the arcade side, which does virtual pinball as well as arcade games, that's still manufacturing away and producing plenty of new games. So I think they did what they needed to do in order to keep the whole business going. But sadly, it involved ditching the pinball side for now.
Right. Okay. So I think we finished all the manufacturers, but there's also other news.
Yeah, quite a bit. Last month we mentioned about the Pinball Hall of Fame and the fact that they had received an anonymous donation which had made them reach their target to open the new premises, to pay the contractors to get the building completed. Well, there has been some new updates from Tim Arnold, who's head of the place, I suppose,
right.
Although it's strictly owned by the Las Vegas Pinball Collectors Club. But Tim is the face and really the main man behind it all. And in the videos he's been showing us around the new building, their electrical system, their maintenance areas, and of course the gaming area as well, where they're setting up the machines which they've either brought over from the existing Hall of Fame or taken from Tim's big hit shed, where he stores hundreds of excess games. Now, in the most recent update, he said they were still waiting for their occupancy license so they can actually open. They don't know exactly when it's going to be granted, but when they do, they will be having a party for all those people who donated towards the fundraiser that was on. Was it GoFundMe or Kickstarter? I can't remember which one it was, but
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe,
yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that Kickstarter, that GoFundMe is over $170,000 by now.
And that's before the extra 70 was added by the anonymous 79.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, so they're doing very well, and so I can afford to have a good party.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I'm looking forward to going there. I did see the video. I didn't pay that much attention to what Tim was saying, but I did see that games were being set up, and so I'm happy to see that progress is being made. Obviously, it comes now down to basically inspectors and regulations and whether everything like that is all in order. It's funny. I recall going to the Pinball Hall of Fame a couple of years ago, talking to Tim, where he was explaining to me how much the sprinkler system was costing, and I had a sort of déjà vu watching this video where he started discussing how expensive the sprinkler system was that they just installed, and so for all your sprinkler related questions, I redirect you to Tim Arnold.
Jolly good. Well, hopefully it's one of those things that will never be needed. because if it ever is, then it'll be causing a lot of damage to a lot of pinball machines.
Yes.
But it does have a very impressive electrical system out the back. I was paying attention to that, and all kinds of backup systems as well in case there's a power failure and they have to do emergency lighting and all that kind of stuff, which takes up a huge rack of batteries in order to power everything, or power the lighting anyway. So it's you can see where the money's gone basically. If you look around the back, we'll look at when Tim shows you around the back. There's some serious equipment there in order to power all those games.
Right. Well, if you have to power 700 games every day for, I think it's like at least 12 hours, if not longer.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to wonder what the power drain would be if everybody on every machine all flipped at exactly the same time. Both flippers.
Yeah, you might not get the ball up, but...
So make sure you don't blow the fuse. That's all right for the whole building. But anyway.
Might be, yeah.
Other news.
Yes.
Yeah, so those of you who remember the games such as Big Bang Bar.
Oh, I do remember. I have one.
Yes, I thought you might remember that. Well, the artist on that, Stan Fukuoka, he has brought out some new artwork pieces.
Limited edition prints.
Yeah, related to Big Bang Bar. And he's...
I'm looking at them right now.
He is selling them on the web, hopefully, not in person. Or have you got some?
He has a web shop on stanfukuoka.com.
Right, okay.
2 prints, Big Bang Bar Redux and Happy Hour, each selling for $45.
Okay, and they're actual prints, are they? They're not decals or anything. They are.
It says limited edition prints. So, and I think I've seen them on at various expos before, where he was also selling other similar prints. So usually those prints, I recall, are printed on very thick quality paper and vibrant in colors.
Lovely.
And so I'm looking at the Big Bang Bar Redux print, which is a sort of a bar type of scenery.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose everybody has their own take on art. So.
But presumably it would go well with a Big Bang Bar machine.
No, actually, in this case, I would probably say it doesn't.
Oh, okay.
And the reason for saying that is that the artwork on Big Bang Bar is very stunning because it's line art with very vibrant green and purple colors. Mm-hmm. And this print is, in fact, a 4-color print. So basically, you have all the colors available, and it sort of doesn't come.
The colours are more muted.
Doesn't appear to me a cohesive package, so to speak. It seems to be like a collage of various aliens in a bar scenery, but it's not a cohesive package to me. The Happy Hour print, on the other hand, is Ray the bartender. Mm-hmm. That looks it's a very nice print.
Okay.
So, but. Everybody has their own tastes when it comes to graphic art, so take a look on stanfukuoka.com and see if you're interested in buying any of these prints. And he has other prints for sale as well.
He does, indeed.
Related to Kingpin and
he also has
an
Addams Family, almost like an alternate translite.
Yes.
We wanted that as well, but which is more based on Uncle Fester, I think, rather than Morticia and well, anyway, you get the idea. If you have a look at the stanfukuoka.com website, you can see lots of different art pieces.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and sad news from Christian. I forgot his last name.
Line.
Christian Line. Yep. Yes, that's it. Thank you. They stopped producing the super awesome Pinball podcast show, actually it was, but which is a pity because it was a great podcast and I really enjoyed listening to it. And I take my hat off to Chris Frenchy for all the editing that he did.
It must have taken ages to edit it.
Yeah, you couldn't find anybody saying like I do way too often, and I'm trying to reduce it. So, but no, too bad. Hopefully there will be some occasional episodes still coming up, and But thank you for the 25 episodes that have been produced so far.
Yeah, the last one featured an interview with Roger Sharp. Someone you are more than familiar with, of course.
Yes, and it was actually very nice to hear Roger actually mention Pinball Magazine as one of the top publications when it comes to pinball books and archiving pinball history.
Quite right, too. Okay, talking of archiving and pinball history, the Museum of Pinball, based out in California, at Banning, they have announced that they are doing a Museum of Pinball experience, which is basically they're opening up their pinball collection of over 500 machines to a limited audience, 25% capacity. And it's a special one-off event on April the 24th between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. And they say it's unlimited play on over 500 machines. As I say, limited 25% capacity. But there's an entry fee of $150 per adult, $85 per child. Face coverings will be required, gloves are encouraged, hand sanitizers are available. The arcade and video game side won't be open, it's just the pinball experience. No refunds, all sales final. So that is April the 24th. So if you want to have some kind of celebration and head over to Banning, then they will be open for 12 hours on April the 24th for the Museum of Pinball experience.
Okay, well, I'd really love to go, but I'm afraid that we still can't fly to the US.
Sadly not, no. At least not yet. Probably won't be able to by the 24th of the month either.
Yeah, no. And actually, that's my holiday weekend, or my birthday weekend, and my girlfriend is... he basically told me, like, block your agenda for 4 days.
Ooh. Perhaps she's taking you over to Banning, the Museum of Pinball.
I highly doubt that, but I'm sure she's taking me somewhere.
Yes, indeed. Well, we'll look forward to hearing all about that next month. Well, not all about it, but some about it, at least.
Right. So I just realized we forgot to discuss one manufacturer, of which there is a little bit of news.
Yes, your local one, I guess.
Yes, Dutch Pinball, indeed.
Go on then, what have you got?
Well, last month, Rens, who is sort of their spokesperson, announced that there would be a code update coming out for the Big Lebowski this month, last month.
Right.
Actually, it has been slightly delayed, but I was talking to Barry, the owner of the company, today, and he said he expects it's going to be released within the next 2 weeks or so. He's trying to tie it in with a newsletter, announcing it and discussing it and so on. And if he, for some reason, can't tie it in with the newsletter, then it will just be released and it will be a post on Facebook and what have you, and then you can download it somewhere.
Have you got any idea what that code update includes?
Yes.
Oh, are you allowed to tell us?
One of a couple of additions to certain modes. The extra ball will finally be available.
Right.
Apparently, it was not possible to get an extra ball in the game, but now you can. And they're basically gradually working towards a 1.0 version. And what Barry basically told me is it's almost 1.0, but the only thing currently missing is the wizard mode. As soon as the wizard mode is in, they're going to call it 1.0, and then there still will be tweaks and bug fixes if necessary. Sure. But as soon as the wizard mode is in, then it will be 1.0. And I've seen, I didn't make a list of all the things that were improved. Sure. It also includes some new diagnostics and what have you, but the owners of the game, the Big Lebowski, will be very happy with that update. It looked very promising. So
great, good news.
Yes, and in the meantime, Barry himself has been full-time on, I would say, parts scouting.
Right.
Due to the coronavirus, there's a shortage of all sorts of parts because suppliers can't get certain parts, and the Suez Canal was blocked, which also didn't help because I think Barry had an order for pinball legs coming in, which was blocked, and that's going to be a delay of like 3 weeks. Although the blockade was only a couple of days, but apparently it takes the delays pile up immediately.
Sure. Yeah, there's a backlog.
I have no idea how it works. So.
Yeah.
But no, there have been some supply chain issues, and which means that they have been building Big Lebowski games, but they can't finish them because they are waiting for certain parts, and as soon as those come in, they can finish the game. So their new facilities slowly piling up on games that are still waiting for a couple of missing elements, and once they arrive, then they can start shipping out games again. So
right, good.
That's about the update, the news from Dutch Pinball. So.
Okay,
but they're still alive and kicking, and
producing the games and fulfilling those early achievers as well.
Yes,
slowly working their way through them. But that's a delayed success story.
Right. Okay. So, any other news?
Well, I think we had contact from Tilt Amusements.
Right.
And
yes.
some
Trent
news over there.
Reached
exactly.
out. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Troy Smith is the new director of sales and marketing of Tilt Amusements.
Yes, had a little chat with Trent, and he says they're expanding more into operating games now, working with a chain of arcades across the US, and supplying games and servicing them. So there's a lot more than just selling games now. So they've Trent's teamed up with Troy, and now Troy's in charge of sales and marketing of new games. For Tilt Amusements.
Congratulations to both.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, another win-win, hopefully. So
yeah, and especially in these COVID times, I'm very surprised to see Trent expanding into barcades.
Yeah, well, I guess this is there'll be a lot of pent-up demand. I mean, not everywhere in the US is closed or shut down in the same way that it is in a lot of Europe and other parts of the US. So there's still machines wanted, and in fact we've seen some new locations opening up fairly recently across the US. Some very large ones, in fact, and once the vaccinations start to get spread out to everyone, then I'm sure it'll all open up, and people will. There's a huge pent up demand, really, basically, to get out and play location pinball and drink location drinks. So a good time to be doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
which kind of...
in your notes, I noticed you had a summary of the outcome of the TWIPY Awards. Are we going to discuss that?
Oh, I think so. We mentioned it with Jack, how Guns N' Roses did so well at the TWIPYs. those of you who didn't catch it or missed out on the list of awards, you can go to twippies.com where you can find all the details there. And I think it was a very successful award ceremony.
Right.
Obviously the big winner was Guns N' Roses for Jersey Jack Pinball, but there was some love given to games like Avengers and also Rick and Morty. So that did well. Although they both picked up awards as well. I don't know what else to say, really.
Well, it was kind of surprising to me to see that the awards were basically share. I think it was like 3 companies splitting the awards: Stern, JJP, and Spooky. I don't think Chicago Gaming or American Pinball were nominated, or I think American Pinball was mentioned.
Yeah,
Hot Wheels
Hot Wheels was there. Yeah,
but they no awards for them. One could you probably can wonder whether Chicago Gaming had a new game coming out. Last year they were still making Monster Bash, which is
that's it.
Most likely, seen as a 2019 game.
So, which is fair enough, I think.
So I did, based on the percentages and the number of votes such percentage equaled, I did a quick math, and it appears like close to or over 4,400 people put in their votes, which is quite good, I would say.
Yes, that'll be about right. Yeah. Just looking at the percentages here. Yeah, there's like Best Light Show, Guns N' Roses. Not really surprised there. 42% there, and over 2,000 votes. So yes. Yeah. I agree. I agree with your maths.
Well, thank you.
Although some categories were more diverse, shall we say? The votes were spread out more across multiple different.
Some surprising winners as well.
Yeah.
In certain categories.
Yeah, but it was good to see that the Virtual Pinball Expo, which we were both part of and reported on with Rob Burke and Dave Fix, that was voted the best virtual pinball event. Unsurprisingly, I think they put a huge amount of effort into that and justified in winning that one. But we won't go through them all because there are quite a lot of them.
Go to twippies.com and see for yourself who won what.
Absolutely, and congratulations to everyone involved in the organisation of that. It was a lot of effort, a lot of production effort went into that, and again, like the Stern Invitational that we were talking about before, a very, very polished and professional-looking production. So congratulations.
Yeah, and if you're a fan of cameos of people that once, sometime in their lifetime, contributed to a pinball machine or to a theme that was used on a pinball machine, then certainly check it out, because there's all sorts of cameos from actors from movies or TV shows or what have you, announcing categories and the winners.
Right. Okay.
Must have been a lot of work to get all those people to collaborate.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And contribute. So.
Yeah.
Okay. I suppose that rounds it up for March 2021.
I think it does. Yeah. I think we covered all the key events in the pinball world, if not the rest of the world, in this special March PINcast. And we're looking forward to an exciting month of April. Not as in last year. We're not doing what we would normally be doing this time of year.
Yeah, no pinball shows still, although there is a pinball show happening in Ohio.
There is indeed, Pin Brewfest, yes, which I was surprised because I kept expecting that to be cancelled or postponed until later in the year. But no, it seems to be going ahead in April, as you say. So not sure how that's going to pan out when you have a bunch of people with their hands on pinballs and drinking lots of beer. But I guess we will find out. But in normal times, it would have been a show I'd love to visit. but
yeah, oh, absolutely.
Sadly, not allowed to. It's I think it's a new show. It's the first time they've held it.
Yeah.
So it's
at least it's a new name. I'm not sure who's organizing it, so it could be a well-known organizer. But.
Well, I know one of the organisers used to work with Mike Pasak on the Ohio Pinball Show. So, but then split away to set up this new one with a different partner. So I think it's got a lot of show organising experience behind it, and to me, a combination of beer, craft beer, and pinball show. Well, it's perfect. So hopefully next year I'll be in a position to go over there and experience it for myself.
Oh, I was expecting you to say to get drunk.
Well, I don't need to go that far for that, but
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it seems like it'd be
anyway.
a good way for you to celebrate your birthday as well.
Yeah. So anyway, so that rounds it up for, like I said, March 2021. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, we'll be back next month.
Wow.
With our recap of April 2021.
I think you can count on it. It's we don't know what's going to happen, but it makes it all the more exciting. So, will there be new game launches? Will there be new product launches? Will Raza have any more news? I don't think so. But
or deeproot.
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot to talk about deeproot. Oh,
what?
Yeah,
did we?
We did mention deeproot.
Ah, right. Okay.
It was a headline.
That's right, because it was late breaking news. In fact. That's the reason that
it's not in the notes.
It's so late that it came in after the notes. Yes.
Yeah. So, but we're still recording. So we saved the best for last, or well, maybe not. But as the headline said, Raza delayed again.
Yeah. No great surprise there. I don't think anybody was expecting it to be going to production just yet, and indeed it hasn't. It's still in the testing phase, and there still seem to be problems in sourcing some of the parts from the vendors who manufacture them.
Or think they can.
Well, yeah, or intend to, or manufacture something. Now they said that they were going to do monthly updates, and now they're not going to do.
Another update for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So we can already tell you no news from Deeproot Pinball next month.
Yeah.
Unless something funny happens.
Mid-May, they say that's the plan for the next update. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to be seeing it. Interesting idea that they're kind of looking to address the ongoing delay in the delivery, which was originally slated to be 6 weeks from the close of orders. But they're now suggesting that they might be able to give some kind of cash back in terms of store credit for people to spend on things in the Deeproot store whenever that launches, and whatever's available there, or to allow people to basically to back out of their orders or back out of their deposits or full payments if the ongoing delay is too much. Originally, it was non-refundable deposits or down payment or full payments. Now they're not able to deliver the game in the originally intended timescale. They're looking at making that refundable rather than non-refundable. But no news on that yet. Just ideas at this stage.
So instead of 6 weeks, it turns out to be 6 months. Is that a typo?
Well, it was probably an internal timeline that wasn't intended to be made public. Yeah. So we'll see. But in the meantime, I'm sure they're doing all they can to move.
Oh yeah,
move
we still
the game
sympathize
along
with Deeproot and hope that they get their stuff together and the parts in and the games built.
Yeah,
because we really want to see what they can do.
Well, we are seeing, and Jack alluded to this as well in when he was on, that the pandemic and various other global issues, including the things like the canal blockage, have resulted in delays to parts being available and fulfillment of them, and it's affecting everyone. It's just that it's affecting a startup more than a company with an ongoing production schedule, and who will already have lots of parts in stock. So it's a problem, and I'm sure we'll see it impacting lots of production. But it's hitting deeproot badly at the moment anyway. So, as you say, no more news expected in the April recap, but hopefully in our PINcast covering May, we'll have some good news to bring you.
Hopefully. Yes. So, okay, then let's wrap it up. Again, my name is Jonathan Joosten from Pinball Magazine, and
I'm Martin Ayub from Pinball News. I think yes, it's been it's been a long time.
We thank you for your attention, and we hope you'll be back next month.
Okay, until then, have fun.
Okay, thanks. Bye bye.